Hi everyone, my name is Chabeli. I'm a board certified anesthesiologist assistant and I was recently featured on CNBC Millennial Money. So if you haven't seen that video already, check it out. I'm going to link it down below. And in this video, I'm going to be reacting to that video and answering questions I saw in the comments and just general things about CAs and my income. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. So the first question I'm going to answer is, how many years of school does it take to become a CA? So generally it takes a bachelor's degree, which is about 4 years. And then afterwards, it's about a 2-year program. I did my chemistry major and it actually covered a lot of the prereqs I needed for AA school. I was considering PA school, so I went back for 1 semester and I did a statistics class, which also helped with AA school. But if I knew about it beforehand, I probably would have picked a major that completed both the prereqs and also helped me with graduating my undergrad. So I know some people go into undergrad now and they're already considering AA school, so they sometimes will pick a major that covers both. One of my friends that went to PA school did that because she knew that PA was the route she wanted to take, and she ended up majoring in kinesiology, which had a lot of overlap with the prereqs she needed for PA school. So that's something people could do, but that's not the only option. Some people who are non-traditional applicants, like one of my coworkers and student, they ended up majoring in something different, but then they found out about AA and they went back and took some of the prereqs at community college because it was more affordable. People have a lot of different avenues to completing the prereqs, but it is probably most convenient to pick a major that would cover the prereqs to begin with if you can, but it's not the only way. Then after undergrad, it is about a 2-year program and it's all focused on anesthesia and becoming a CA. So that is a very intensive program. I believe my program was about 7 semesters and it's kind of compressed into 2 years. So super intensive program, but very well worth it to get it done in 2 years and start working sooner and, having my own license and getting my life going. So overall, it can take about 6 years on probably the quickest timeline. But for people that have non-traditional journeys, it can take a little bit longer to become a CA. If you're wondering some of the experiences that people have before AA school, some of them include respiratory therapist, nurse, patient transporter, pharmacy tech, anesthesia tech, scribes, EMT, and the list goes on and on, medical assistants. One of my shadowers actually, I believe, is a transporter for patients and he assists people in the recovery unit. So there's a lot of variety on experiences that can be applied for AA school. A lot of people wanted to know why I had a roommate, even though I make over $200,000. And my roommate and I, we were both classmates. We were good friends. We helped each other in school. We took 2 jobs together out of school. One of them was the temporary job that gets you working right away. And then we took a job that was more long-term. And so when we were in our temporary job, we both came to the agreement that we really wanted to pay off our loans quickly. And we both knew that each other was going to be working really hard. So to a degree, we both felt like we wouldn't be at home as much. So we're like, okay, if we're not going to be at home as much and we're going to be working a lot, why not just save money on our rent and live together? And so I absolutely appreciated doing that experience. I know a lot of people would not, but for me, that was an amazing decision and definitely put me ahead financially. And even after I paid off my loans, I feel like it's been a really great decision financially. And I also get to catch up with my classmate, my friend. We're really good friends and we always catch up about work. And it's really nice to have a friend to come home to. I feel like, especially if I'm working so much, it can be kind of hard sometimes to socialize, but it's really easy to just catch up with my friend after work when we're cooking dinner or, eating dinner. So that's something that I did to save money, but I feel like it's also been a great thing in terms of my mental health and my social support while I'm away from my family and from my boyfriend here in Florida. People were also wondering why I'm in a long distance relationship. My boyfriend and I started long distance, and then because of COVID, his work became more remote. Thankfully, we were living together. He was in graduate school while we were living together and he was remote. However, when he first wanted to take a job, it was during the mass tech layoffs. So a lot of the jobs were requiring more in-person work. So we came to the decision that it was a better option for him to go hybrid and get a job rather than try to keep hunting for a remote position, which had so many more applicants. So we ultimately thought that it was the best decision for him in his career to go to a hybrid position, which brought him to New York City, which meant that we became a long distance relationship again. It's definitely a sacrifice, but I absolutely love him. And I think that it's what works for our relationship and brings us a lot of happiness, even though it requires a lot of sacrifice. But ultimately, our goal is definitely to live together in a couple months to a year. So some people are wondering, what is the average starting salary an anesthesiologist assistant can make? And according to the AA organization, the average starting salary is $150,000. And I believe that might be a little bit outdated. In terms of Florida, the average starting salary I've heard of is $130,000 to $190,000. In South Florida, it typically tends to be a little bit lower salaries because there's more interest in terms of living there. It's, I guess, a more established market, so employers may not have as much incentive to increase the salary versus in areas like Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Tallahassee. Those are all super competitive in terms of compensation. In terms of compensation for new graduates that I know of, it's around $180,000 to $190,000 in the Tampa, Orlando market. And I believe Tallahassee and Jacksonville are also very competitive as well. And in terms of weeks off, it's around 7 to 10 weeks off. Super competitive. It is a very hot market for CAs, especially in Florida, in Georgia, in some of these states. The market is really incredible. The starting salaries are higher than when I was looking into the profession, which is, I think, a testament to how much in demand CAs are. And also the sign-on bonuses are also higher than when I started working. My sign-on bonus was around $15,000, and for my students, I'm hearing anywhere from $45,000 to $75,000. And that's for a 3-year commitment. So that's on top of the starting salary, on top of the overtime opportunities, and on top of the PTO. Some people end up taking PTO and working. So again, a lot of opportunities to really put yourself in a financially stable place. I'm so happy I looked into this profession and decided to go with it. It honestly is beating my compensation expectations. So I'm really happy that I'm where I am in terms of my profession. And I'm really happy for people that are graduating right now because it's extremely competitive, which is excellent because, again, the loans are a lot. So really great position to be in. The market is hot for CAs for sure. I got a lot of interest about malpractice, who pays for that. Overall, my employers have paid for my malpractice insurance. I know of a nurse who decides to pay for her own malpractice insurance on top of that. I personally have not done that, but overall, my employer is paying for my malpractice insurance, which is pretty nice. That is all for this video. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to go into more questions that I had from my CNBC video. So if you're interested in more of my questions, including how much can a CA make in a year on the highest end, stay tuned for that.